zero. And that's one equation.
Oops.
Let's call this IF. And I don't know which direction it's flowing. It may be flowing the other way, but I just choose. Right? So that's IF. This is ID1. And this is IC2. Okay? And my equation is going to be, so at the top I have VCC. VCC times RB2 over RB1 plus RB2. This is my Thevenin voltage. Is equal to, so I'm converting this into this. Right? So ID1 goes to that resistance. So that's equal to R Thevenin, so it's RB1 in parallel with RB2, times RB1 plus VBE1 plus IE1. So if you look at the current through RE1, it's IE1 plus IF. Okay. So in this equation, my unknowns, I'm gonna consider IB1 and IE1. Just one of them is an unknown because the other was just beta times I. IF and IB1. That's it.
What do you link the loops against? Just
Between the Thevenin source over there and going through the base emitter and to ground. Right, but the combination here is replaced with that. So that this is V Thevenin over there, and this is R Thevenin.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so I have two unknowns. I need to find one more equation to solve this. We'll see what happens. At the top, I can see right away that the voltage drop from this node to this VCC is the same if I go through this branch or this branch. So that's another equation that we use. So I write it as this is IB2. So the current through RC1. See, IC1 is down here. This is IC1. So IC1 is equal to the current through RC1 plus IB2. Or the current through RC1 is IC1 minus IB2. Okay, so RC1 times IC1 minus IB2 equals to the voltage drop on the right branch. So that's IE2 times RE2 plus VEB2. Okay, so I have one unknown here, IB1, one unknown here, IF, and this equation introduces another unknown, IE2. Because again, IE2 is just beta times that. It's not an independent path. Yeah, it's not an independent variable. So I have three unknowns. I need one more equation. Where do I find that last equation? Hopefully which won't introduce a new variable.
Could you do a loop law in the middle?
So I can do, yeah, like KVL.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Or the way I like to think about it is that I can say the voltage drop across this guy is this the same as the voltage drop across the other. Right? I'm going from the same node to the ground. So if I do that,
Are you introducing
the current through RC2 is IC2 minus IF. Right? IC2, a portion of it goes left. And then that is equal to RF drop across all you want.
You look it up?
I did not introduce a new variable. So I'm good. 3 equations, 3 unknowns. I should be able to solve it and find.
What was the KDL for the second equation for just like?
Sorry, say it again.
What was the KDL for the second equation? I got caught out.
The KDL. So you just go up, let's say RC2 through RF and come through RE back to ground.
That was the third one. Well, no, that
The third one is.
Oh, that
This
was
is the one.
Yeah, he's talking about the second one.
yeah.
the one above that. That one, yeah.
That one is up in your range.
Yeah, I see a scroll up. I copied that.
Over here. So I said this voltage drop is equal to this voltage drop. Same notes. Right? So RC1 times IC1 minus IF. Sorry, IE2, IV2. That voltage drop, this voltage drop is RE2, IE2 plus VE.
So is IB2's direction arbitrary?
No, IV2 is going this way. It's a PNP.
Sorry, shut up. So loud.
Okay? And then you have 3 equations, 3 unknowns, plug in numbers in there, and that's it. And hopefully the transistors will be in active region. If they are not in active region, you cannot have a small signal one. You're likely to be in the but I think they will be.
For these types of questions, would you always have to prove that they're in active region first?
So for, unless you're told not to worry about it, right? Because for example, down here in this assignment, I'm telling you that the devices are biased in their active regions. So don't worry about that. I don't actually give you values, so you have to come up with all the formulas and everything else in terms of resistors. But yeah, the assumption is active. So unless I tell you that they are in active region and don't worry about it, you have to prove that they're in active region. So the second one here is the same thing, right? What is the difference? Oh, the second one is the same as this one.
MP? Oh, both NPN.
You just have a resistor up here instead of here. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just 2 amperes, right? So just take care of your current directions and then you should be free.
Sure, I'm not missing something here. You asked us to calculate bias point parameters. That's just verifying that it's an active region.
IC/VCE. Right? So if you calculate IC and VCE both, you know if your device is in active region or not. If IC is not 0, it means that it's not in cut. If VCE is larger than 2.3, it means it's not in saturation. So if you have IC and VCE, you know.
So small, when I ask for small signal parameters, is that just GM and RBOT?
Yep. For both transistors, right? And I think betas are the same, but yeah, each one has a different IC, and therefore their RPI and GMs are going to be different. So what else?
Yeah, GM.
So you found the voltage here?
I'll put these notes online, so don't worry if you missed the
Oh yeah, the next one.
Any other questions? Or- You know,
Have you found the price prints? Have you found the price?
maybe without this price when you have time. It's actually a good tool. Oh, now that you're here, let me show you a bonus point.
What?
What is this price?
Sorry, I can't hear this.
So-
Fucking retarded. You're talking so loud.
You know, my input voltage was 4 millivolts. A nice clean AC at the input produces a nice clean sine wave at the input produces a nice clean sinusoidal at the output, right? So let's just see what happens if the input is 10 millivolts. Notice anything? It's not symmetric anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Your input is still your nice and beautiful sine wave. Your output is not symmetric anymore. This is called distortion. You're distorting the signal. You're not getting a replica or a scaled version of what you had at the input. It actually is now looking different. And 10 millivolt, remember, we said small signal, small compared to VT. 10 millivolt is not a super large signal, but compared to VT, it is. Let's look at all the stuff that we mentioned. Yeah, also. You know what? Let's just keep it small. Okay, so this is my gain, and then just a point of small signal. If I make this, I don't know, 50 millivolts, bad things are going to happen. Right? This is very much distorted. And if you push it any further, you can actually turn the device on and off. So let's say, I think maybe 150 millivolts. That's going to happen. Right? So if I look at IC, for example, this is my IC. Goes from almost 0, that's cut off, to 24 milliamp but not changing, that's saturation. Right? So if you look at the voltage here, that tells you the same thing. So the voltage here, when the IC is 0, that voltage is 5, your maximum power supply. When IC is your maximum, it's not changing, it's saturation at the bottom. Right? So that's why we need to make sure that the small signal analysis is valid. Let's go back to what we had. Okay. I want V out, so this is changing by from minus 80 to, let's say, from minus 120 to 80, something like that. Okay? It's distorted, but it's not too bad. Let's see what that RE, if I put an RE down there, what do we do? So how much is my RC? 200 ohms. I'm going to put a small RE here. Let's say 10 ohms. Not much. So look at this, and actually no, there should. Do you notice that it's actually improved? It's not distorted anymore. It's not as bad. Part of it is because your gain is reduced. You're not amplifying the signal as much as before. But the other reason for that is that your V gain is still appearing here. If RE was not there, all of that V gain appears across your VB, which is super sensitive to voltage drop across the diode. But when you add this diode here, that V in is divided between your base emitter and some of it appears here. So it takes the load away or the signal away from your base emitter. And this signal now is seeing a smaller, this portion, this junction is seeing a smaller signal, and therefore it behaves linearly. The rest of your signal appears here. The price you pay is gain. You lose some of your gain. And the larger I make it, the better it's going to look like, right? But I lose weight. So if I go from here to, let's say, 50 ohms, I'll probably lose a whole bunch of them. So what you can do if you want is you can make 2 of these, let me do that. And in LT Spice, if you label a node and use the same label somewhere else, those two are shorted. So if I say this is VN, it's as if I draw a line between them. I connect them by a line, right? So, and then I have to change this node name from V out to something else because now they're shorted. Let's say 0 ohm versus 50 ohm. This is your 0 ohm output, looks a little bit distorted. This is your 50 ohm. You get less gain, but much less distortion as well. So if that much sacrifice in gain is not acceptable, let's say a smaller value, maybe that, maybe you can live with that, right? So you have a little bit less gain, but a lot less distortion. So that's another advantage of having that RE. So gain is the currency in analog electronics. We always try to have the largest amount of gain that we can, and then we start to trade it. We trade it for input resistance, we trade it for bandwidth, we trade it for noise, all of this. So in amplifier design, usually we try to see what is the maximum achievable gain we can have, and then find ways to improve other performance aspects. Alright, so play with LT Spice. I think we have a manual for that online. And then it's an open source software, sorry, not open source. It's a free software that's been around forever. Very strong community behind it.